When a woman is talking, you still in the game. When she goes silent, it's done. So if that woman is still talking and she's still arguing and complaining, we don't like it, but it's a sign that we're still in the game. Her silence is louder than her sound. If she telling you that she overwhelmed, that she feels like she about to go crazy, that she feels like she losing, the next thing she gonna do is not tell you nothing. And let me tell you something. If she get quiet, bro,
close to it,
you can forget it.
A woman's silence is actually dangerous. So don't mistake it for weakness, like she ain't got nothing to say. She just may have gotten to a point now where she no longer sees you as a person worth saying it to, because she's lost all respect for you. And like, as men, we think, oh, she giving us a silent treatment. She trying to teach us a lesson. No, not every time. A lot of times a woman goes quiet because she's now learned the lesson that you can't be taught anything because you don't have the emotional competence to understand her. So it's not about manipulation or her having power over you. It's about her taking back her power and her peace that she lost as a result of being with you. Now, one exception is whenever a woman goes quiet because she's sparing you from what she's thinking that she could say that would have you sliding down the wall with your chest hurting, like it's a matter of mercy. And that's why I say a woman's silence is actually dangerous, especially for the man who's found comfort and maybe even complacency in basically making her talk to deaf ears. Like, if that's your whole foundation for why you feel good in a relationship, is that you got her talking to herself whenever she's trying to communicate what she needs and what her concerns are, I'm here to tell you, the day is coming when she's gonna be done talking and therefore done listening and therefore done with you for good.
Tell us what it feels like from the man's perspective when your woman is going silent on you. What does it feel like? What do you think in your head?
something's wrong. Immediately, something is wrong, because when you think about, like you said, women, they want to hear you listen. They want to hear you talk. They want to be up under you, right? They want to be in your space. They want to be in your skin. They want to know what's going on with your day. Like they're going to annoy you in the best way. But when she goes silent, something's got to be off. Something's got to be wrong. And maybe this is my trauma speaking, but that's exactly, anytime silence happened in my relationships or in my house, something was wrong. And the goal is either you find out or it's going to expose itself. And typically, anytime it exposes itself, it's never good.
This is what silence actually does to a man, where you can save yourself time and energy and not be crashing out, trying to write these long paragraphs and do all this other stuff. And before you sit here and say, oh, he doesn't care, blah, 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 all this stuff, he's moved on. Yeah, he's moved on for now. Trust me, they come back. And if he doesn't come back, that's one that just really didn't care about you to begin with, so you shouldn't be chasing him anyways. That silence is hitting a little bit more harder because he realizes that he is no longer in control of what you actually have going on. One of the biggest things that he cannot control, and that is your emotions. He loves when you send those long text messages. He loves when you start crashing out, because that means he has a sense of control over you. He'll never know what he actually had or fumbled up until you walk away, give him silence, because now he can sit and think in his own thoughts. And he realizes, I had a good woman, but I wanted to continue to do things, and I took those things for actual granted.
Your silence as a woman is truly so powerful, you have no idea. And when it's used right, it can be a man's greatest wake-up call and the deepest realization that he'll ever experience. Your absence will force a man to finally see the truth that you've been trying to tell him throughout the entire time of being with him. Your silence as a woman in a man's life creates space, and when you create space, it does two things. One, you remove the benefits of convenience from his life. You're no longer the patient listener who you once were. You're no longer cleaning up the emotional mess that you didn't even make in the first place. And two, it also creates a void, and within that void, a man now has to self-reflect on the things that you've been telling him the whole time. Over-explaining isn't going to get a man to self-reflect. Overcompensating is not going to get a man to self-reflect. Over-performing is not going to get a man to self-reflect. Over-communicating is not going to get a man to self-reflect. You have to create distance by removing yourself and giving him silence so he's able to self-reflect. Unfortunately, your silence will sometimes cut deeper than anything you could ever tell him. And I'm saying unfortunately because you shouldn't have to go to that extent, but in some cases this is the reality of it. And the most fascinating thing about all of this is that when a woman finally decides to leave a man's life, usually it's once and for all, because women will plead, they will explain, they will even cry, they will pour out their emotions to us as men, and in some cases we don't listen until it's too damn late. Here we have a woman telling us the issues that are existing within the dynamic, and we choose to not listen to her until she finally decides to leave us. That's when we suddenly start to care, but by then it's too damn late. And when a woman finally decides to leave a man's life, usually she's mentally and emotionally checked out, and there's no turning back. There's no getting her back at all once she finally decides to leave. And it's not even about her not loving the man anymore. It's about her finally choosing to love herself. That is exactly why your silence as a woman is the greatest wake-up call to a man. Love doesn't thrive in neglect. It thrives in effort. It thrives in reciprocity. Don't be the woman who stayed and endured all this neglect thinking that's what made her worth something. Be the woman who got away.
A woman's silence is the scariest and most loudest noise that you will ever hear in your life. You will hear that shit. You will feel that wrath no matter what. You hope you never get to that point where a woman is silent. I'm telling you, because there's only 3 reasons why a woman is silent. And it is the fucking loudest silence ever. 1, they're disappointed in you. And they just got nothing to say. Lost for words. 2, they're frustrated with you. And if they do say anything, they ain't gonna say things that they do mean, but regret saying. And last but not least, when a woman is silent, that means she's done with your shit. She's done with you, and she's preparing the breakup in her head. She's checking out mentally and emotionally, and eventually it'll be physically. Just remember that. So when you hear that woman silent and you see she's silent, just know that you fucked up big time. And my advice to you is wake the fuck up. Don't fuck that shit up. Attend to her needs. Be there for her emotionally, mentally. Be able to make sure she feels heard, seen, understood. Because there's not many good women out there. And when you have a good woman and you take advantage of that, and you get to the point where she is silent and she has nothing left to say, just know that you're probably gonna lose her. Unless you magically fix that shit quick. And most of us don't fucking fix that shit. As men, and I can say as myself, in the past, and obviously I'm much more mature now, I was selfish. I was selfish with some of my needs in my past relationships. And this doesn't pertain to my last one, but in the past when I was younger, I didn't pay attention to any of the signs. And I was my downfall to the relationship because I didn't make sure that woman felt safe, seen, understood, and attended to, and provided for in the sense of her mental and emotional well-being. So my advice is fucking wake the fuck up and realize that you have a good woman before your dumb ass loses her.
Your silence will tell an avoidant these 5 things. The first is you are no longer chasing them. The old dynamic is broken where you essentially do everything that you possibly can to take the initiative to try to work on this relationship while they do little to nothing. And this is something that I know you are doing from a place of love because you know deep down that this avoidant would not do this because they're avoidant attachment style, and you are just trying to create as safe an environment for them to ensure that this relationship could work. But at the end of the day, it comes a point in time where you can no longer do this sustainably, right? You need somebody to put in some effort to try to work on this, and they simply could not get to that point because of this avoidant attachment style and how it convinces them to not do something like this. But your silence becomes a non-verbal expression to them that you are no longer going to carry this relationship relationship like this, and they need to try to at least make an attempt on trying to take the initiative into working things out and mean it if you are going to re-engage with them. The second is that you are choosing peace over reaction. Your silence is going to signal emotional maturity and showing them that you aren't going to allow this to affect you on that level like it once did. And this is something that's very profound, because up until this point, an avoidant thought that you were always going to be emotionally unstable and all over the place whenever they pulled away, because you were panicking. Right here, you were having a natural response to somebody that you care very deeply for pushing away from you and making it seem like there's something that you're doing wrong that's making them need to do this. So of course you would go into fight or flight and kind of just be all over the place when this happens. And that's honestly something that an avoidant looks for, whether they realize it or not, because it shows that there's some part of you that's still very much emotionally connected to them and why you're having such a reaction like this. And they don't have to worry or be concerned that this could push you away entirely, because this honestly makes you tend to dig down even further and trying to work on this relationship, which ultimately causes them to want to push away even more, because this serves as a trigger due to them feeling like you're putting them in a vulnerable state or having them feel and express certain emotions that they just simply don't want to do. But even further, this communicates to them that you are still on the hook emotionally to them, and they don't have to necessarily worry that you are going to move on. But this new calm that you are giving off by being silent with them is going to confuse them and disrupt this and start to become curious as to what is going on.
When women go silent, that's not confusion. That's judgment. Not loud, not dramatic, final. I'm Jacob Briante, I'm Big Bro. And it don't matter if the men don't get it. Ladies, this message is for you. Men call it stonewalling because it scares them, but silence isn't cruelty. It's discernment. A woman doesn't go quiet because she ran out of feelings. She goes quiet because she ran out of permission to be disrespected. She warned you more than once, in more than one tone. She lowered herself to meet you where you were. And every time she spoke, you did what manipulative men have done since the beginning of time. You delayed obedience. You knew exactly what she needed. You didn't think she'd ever stop asking. You mistook her patience for ignorance, her grace for tolerance, her loyalty for weakness. That was your miscalculation, because there comes a moment, quiet, internal, irreversible, where a woman eats the truth and never speaks it again. And once that happens, the door doesn't slam, it closes. No argument, no announcement, just removal. You weren't confused, you were comfortable. Comfortable withholding effort. Comfortable offering potential instead of presence. Comfortable feeding her hope while starving her security. Silence is the plague, not the warning. Silence is what comes after mercy has expired. That's why you suddenly want to talk when she's quiet. That's why you see it now. That's why you're ready to change. Not because you grew, but because you lost access. Manipulative men don't repent when confronted. They repent when consequences arrive. Ladies, hear me clearly. If you've gone silent, don't resurrect a situation God already buried. Don't explain yourself to someone who studied you long enough to know better. Silence is not immaturity. It's wisdom refusing to argue with willful blindness. Let him call you cold. Let him call you distant. Let him rewrite the story. You're not cold, you're awake. And fellas, when a woman stops speaking, heaven already heard her. And what you're feeling is not punishment, it's removal. And remember, ladies, accept nothing less than queen treatment.
If a woman goes silent in the relationship, something is wrong. I mean, terribly wrong, because a woman, when she's feeling good and she's happy with the relationship, oh, she's going to open up. She's going to communicate openly, and she's going to share herself. But when she gets quiet and she doesn't say anything, something is terribly wrong. Something's not right in the relationship. And when she gets silent, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's trying to bring peace into the relationship. She's protecting herself. And when a woman protects herself, that's not good for the continuance of that relationship, because she's likely fed up. She's tired of something. She's done dealing with it. And she's going to go silent so that she's protected. And when you least expect it, or if you're unsuspecting, she's planning her exit. You may not be aware of it, but a woman will definitely plan her exit while she's silent. And you may think everything's okay, but when she's silent, something's terribly wrong. And before you know it, she's going to be gone.
All right, men have spoken, so I'll just add a little bit of what I think why women go silent. Number one, they want peace instead of arguing. There are some people you can argue with them the whole day, but even if you keep arguing, you will not get a solution to the problem that you are trying to solve. Another thing, maybe this woman is losing interest, and silence is the best thing for her just to do for the feelings just to keep on fading. She feels unappreciated. Most of the people think that when you give them the attention that you're supposed to give, because I believe in a relationship, for it to work well, you're supposed to communicate well. But people tend to feel that like communication is something that they don't want, of which for anything to be successful, communication is very important. And for that, they just feel unappreciated. You have heard some people saying, if I don't check up on you, you don't do it on me. And someone will keep on checking on you, checking on you, and at the end of the day, you'll just feel like you're being used in this relationship and you lose interest. And it's we are all human beings, and we need to return the same energy. You don't give a positive energy and then someone else is trying to give you a very bad negative energy. So I feel that's another thing. Something else, she feels hurt. If a woman feels disrespected, ignored, or emotionally hurt, that is one thing which can make a woman go silent. So for anything to work, appreciate for appreciate communication and allow even people to be free with each other, so that you don't feel it's like you're doing too much. The person who is putting in too much work while the other person is just laying around. Let me know what you think, why women go silent in different different situations. It might be in a family setup, in relationship, in marriage, in dating, in anything. Let me know your thoughts down below. Give the video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and credit belongs to the creators of these short videos. Thank you for watching.